There is a type of person who walks into a room and already knows everything. Not because someone told them, not because they asked, but because their mind reads what everyone else walks right past. They catch the flicker in someone's eyes before the smile arrives. They hear the crack in a voice that says, "I'm fine," when nothing is fine. They feel the tension between two people pretending everything is normal. And they know. They always know. And they cannot stop knowing. Most people call this a gift. Sharp intuition. A rare superpower. But nobody talks about the truth. This ability is one of the heaviest burdens a human being can carry. Because you cannot turn it off. The world does not thank you for it. The world punishes you for it. It makes you feel crazy. It makes you feel cruel. It makes you feel alone in ways you cannot describe to the people who love you. This is the psychology of people who see what others don't. And if your clarity has ever cost you more than it gave you, stay with me. Because by the end, something about yourself is finally going to make sense. There is a type of person who walks into a room and already knows everything. Rapid pattern processing, called thin slicing, and an involuntary ability to detect the gap between what a person says and what their body is silently screaming. Most people watch the stage and believe the performance. Your brain watches behind the curtain. It notices the broken props, the nervous sweat, the prompter's hand. Your mind is a 24-hour data collection machine and it never clocks out. You are hardwired to track what Dr. Paul Ekman calls microexpressions, flashes of real emotion. A person cannot fake and cannot stop. When a coworker says, "I'm happy for you," your nervous system has already caught the smile that never reached the eyes, the flicker of something jealous before the mask came back up. You did not think about it. Your brain simply reported back. This is a lie. But what truly separates you is not catching the lie. It is seeing the wound underneath it. You look at someone yelling and see a frightened child who never learned how to lose control safely. You look at someone bragging and see a person drowning in self-doubt, waiting for someone to throw them a rope. That depth sounds like a gift, but it traps you in 3 cycles the people around you will never understand. The first trap is becoming the accidental villain. Society runs on polite lies, shared performances where everyone agrees to play their role. You show up with clarity like a spotlight aimed at the corners everyone decided to keep dark, and people do not thank you for the light. They resent you for it. You meet someone new, and your radar maps their whole structure in 15 minutes. You see the charm as a script. You tell your friends. It feels off. They look at you like you are broken. You are too picky. You ruin every good thing because they see the tip of the iceberg. You see what sits beneath. And with no proof other than the signal in your gut, you become the villain in your own story. At work, and it gets worse. When a coworker uses tears to manipulate a whole team while quietly failing every responsibility, you see it. One honest comment from you changes the entire room. Suddenly, you are the cold one, the arrogant one. When someone's mask gets cracked by truth, their ego attacks the person holding the mirror. So you learn the cruelest lesson. Truth is expensive, and you always pay the price for someone else's lie. If any of this is hitting somewhere real right now, do one small thing. Hit the like button. Not for me. Because someone out there is sitting alone tonight, feeling crazy for seeing too clearly, and your one tap could be the reason this reaches them. Okay, let's keep going, because the second trap is where it starts to quietly destroy you. The second trap is the obsession that never quiets down. When you cannot trust what people say, you start trusting only your own analysis. A compliment from your partner is never just a compliment. Your brain asks what they want. A gift feels like guilt in wrapping paper. A reply that takes 30 minutes longer than usual becomes proof that something is ending. You are not paranoid. You are a mind that learned to stay one step ahead of pain by predicting every betrayal before it arrives. If I see it coming, it will not hurt as much. But the armor is too heavy. It blocks everything, including the things that were actually real and safe. You live inside 10 worst-case futures at once, and you lose the present entirely. Peace, the kind where you rest your head on someone's shoulder without calculating the odds of their disappearance, becomes a language you were never taught to speak. The third trap is the loneliness crowds cannot fix. It is the silence of standing inside a room full of laughing people, carrying a truth that would shatter everything if you said it. You stand at a wedding, watching someone you love begin a life built on sand, and you smile and say all the right words. You watch a gentle coworker being dismantled by a manipulative boss, and you know stepping in will only make it worse. So, you hold it, you carry it, and it weighs more than anyone will ever realize. The cruelest part is this. Because you read people so precisely, you spent years giving everyone exactly what they needed. You became the safe one, the one people call at 2 a.m, but nobody reads you back. People assume you are too strong to ever need someone to ask how you really are. You see through everyone, but when others look at you, they only see their own reflection. That is not strength. That is a specific and devastating kind of invisible. So what do you do with a mind that cannot stop seeing? You cannot force yourself to see less, but you can change how you respond. 3 principles matter most. The first is strategic ignorance. Separate what is true from what is your responsibility. You see a colleague performing for the boss. Is exposing it your job? No. Then let it pass like a cloud. Your perception is a tool for protecting your own life, not a mandate to clean up the world. The second is radical acceptance of masks. Most people do not lie to hurt you. They lie because they are terrified of being seen and still rejected. That loud person craving attention is just a frightened child who never learned another way to ask for love. When you see the wound beneath the mask and choose kindness instead of exposure, you stop being drained by humanity and start becoming something rarer, someone who actually understands it. The third is forgiving the present. Stop trying to predict every ending. If your instinct says there is a 20% chance something could go wrong, have the courage to stay for the 80% that could go right. You can see every thorn on a rose. But if you keep cataloging how sharp each one is, you will never smell the flower. When you finally learn this, something changes. Your perception does not disappear. It evolves. You stop being the cold X-ray machine exposing every flaw. You become a lighthouse, quiet, steady, seeing every hidden rock clearly, and using that knowledge not to panic, but to guide yourself and the people you love through safely. This level of awareness is brutal. It is also the most beautiful thing about you, if you learn how to carry it without letting it carry you instead. If this put into words, something you have been carrying alone for years, do one last thing. Subscribe to this channel and leave one comment below telling me which of the 3 traps hits closest to home. Just one. Because someone will scroll through those comments tonight and finally feel, maybe for the first time, that they are not the only one who sees the world this way. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not cruel for seeing what others refuse to. You are someone whose mind was built to read the truth in a world that prefers the performance. The only question left is whether you will let that gift consume you, or whether you will finally learn how to master it.